What's going on, guys? We're back and we are going to get into UFC Fight Night. Hernandez taking on Pereira. But before we get into the fight card, we want to briefly talk about Francis Ngannou and the stunning ground and pound performance that he displayed upon Renan Ferreira. Crazy performance by Francis. Shout out to his son Kobe. He dedicated to his son. Rest in peace to his son. What are your thoughts on that matchup, E?
Man, I was nervous as hell before that match. We were talking about how Francis was coming back too soon. He was going through a lot emotionally. I know we were freaking just going through the ringer through emotions. We didn't know what to expect, especially after getting knocked out by Anthony Joshua the way he did and as brutally as he did. A lot of unknowns, man. And Renan Ferreira is a big dude, and he's a striker, man. So Francis came through with that game plan, looking like Francis Nurmagomedov and hit him with that ground and pound straight from the sand dunes of Cameroon, man. Dude put it on him, man. That was very impressive. Shout out to him. Shout out to Kobe and Ngannou. Rest in peace. Man, Francis is truly a go. He's literally unfolding before our very eyes.
Yeah, man. All that pressure on Francis Ngannou. He had the contract disputes with Uncle Dana. Uncle Dana was all on Francis Ngannou's side when the John Jones fight first came around. And he was like, "Oh, Francis Ngannou, we got him ready to fight John Jones. John Jones is thinking about moving down to middleweight." And then
John Jones going down.
all of a sudden, John Jones gets the new contract, and Francis starts asking for more money. And now it's like, "Oh, John Jones is the GOAT. He's the greatest fighter who's ever lived. Oh, rankings. Oh, he's
Acting like
pound
he
pound number
never
one."
said that.
Yeah,
Acting
man,
like he
it's
never said. If I
crazy.
was John Jones, I consider moving down to middleweight.
Yeah, man. All that from Uncle Dana, putting that pressure on him. He goes to boxing, fights Tyson Fury, has an absolute war. Then he has another fight in boxing against another top heavyweight, Anthony Joshua. Gets stopped viciously. It is what it is. We back into MMA. A lot of pressure. PFL gave him that bag. He had to perform. They invested pretty much the bank into this man, giving him 8 million a fight. He needed to get this done, and he did in spectacular fashion over a titan in Renan Ferreira. The man is a giant, 6'8". They were exchanging heavy kicks early. Francis Ngannou didn't like those kicks, and he took them down, got the vicious ground and pound, got the victory. But moving on to UFC Fight Night, Pereira versus Hernandez. Starting off with the first fight of the night, we got the big boys. Robell Despain in the heavyweight division taking on Austin Lane. Robellis was a big favorite, man, but Austin Lane grinded him out and got the decision, man. He showed him that striking isn't king in MMA, man. You need to be able to mix it up. But give me your thoughts on it.
Yeah, if Austin Lane is doing that to you, taking you to a decision, man, I think the UFC tried to match the battle of the giants, put on the tallest heavyweights in the heavyweight division, and first fight of the night too. And I was expecting a knockout. I predicted a knockout, but Austin Lane got it done, man. Uses wrestling, kind of a boring finish. I'm surprised he went to a decision, man. Heavyweights don't normally go to a decision, but whatever.
Yeah, man, it was a little bit of a boring fight. Robellis disobeyed in the one round where he wasn't getting controlled on the ground and beat up. He did show some decent striking. He was able to win a round, but Austin Lane's not known as an elite grappler. He was able to take him down, grind him out, get 9 minutes of control time in a 15-minute fight, and get that decision. Shout out to Austin Lane, man. Good performance, but man, I don't really see a future for any of these guys in the top 15. But hey, man, we never know. Moving on to the next matchup. We have your girl, Alice Ardelane, taking on Melissa Martinez. You picked Ardelane in this matchup. I picked Martinez. Give me your thoughts on this, E.
Man, Alice Ardelane got robbed. But this was a weird fight. This was a weird fight. She got robbed, but then she should have lost. So the judges got the wrong decision, but two wrongs make a right. So just basically to explain it to you, the third round, at least Ardelane should have gotten finished, but no nonsense. Keith Peterson stepped in and called a low blow instead of a finish because she was
He
straight
was
done.
smelling like cigarettes and alcohol in there.
And basically, to summarize this fight, I guess two wrongs make a right. Alice Ardelane got robbed of a decision win, but she should have lost the fight anyway. So ultimately, we got the right call, right decision. But it is
Yes.
what it is. I had
Yeah, that's E's MMA math right there, trying to work out how he picked right in this matchup. But hey, man, Melissa, shout out to Melissa Martinez. She got it done. And I picked it right, baby. Let's get it. Let's get it. On to the next one. We had Jessica Paneo last taking on Elise Reed. Jessica Panay came out hot in that first round, E man. She was looking good. She was putting that pressure on Elise Reed. And then Round two and three. Elise Reed started opening up in the striking, and you know what we say when somebody gets in that rhythm, in that zone, they start looking like Izzy Adesanya. Give me your thoughts on this matchup, E.
Yeah, she just weathered that storm, man. That weathered that early storm from Penny and just took over the fight after that second, third round. Put on a good performance, got it done. But another unanimous decision to end this card, which is a common theme, man. I wasn't really too happy about this card, but and three trick fights in a row, man. Shout out to PFL, man. Yeah, y'all got us through this one.
Shout out to PFL, right? Uncle Dana putting on three chick fights, man. We might start watching the PFL, man. Come on, Uncle
Shout out to
Dana, step
Fabian
it up.
Edwards, man.
Moving on to the next matchup, we have Jocelyn Edwards taking on Ramirez Vidal. Jocelyn Edwards was a minus 245 favorite coming into this matchup. We both picked her in this matchup, and she got it done by way of rear naked choke. She looked good in this fight. She was landing at will. She was able to take her down. She was able to control her. She had two submission attempts, and she ultimately finished the fight with the rear naked choke. Impressive for Jocelyn Edwards. Give me your thoughts on this.
Yeah, man, she should have because she missed weight. So not surprised there.
Yeah, she bullied her, man.
She bullied
Don't
her
let you
straight
don't
up.
let him bully your son.
And she almost did this fight almost didn't get a finish, but she got it done late in the third. So first finish of the card. Let's get it. Moving on.
Yeah, man. A rare finish, man. Moving on to the next fight, we have Brad Katona, Canada's finest, man. He's Canada's next GSP. Psych, man. He he didn't live up to that, but he was taking on the undefeated Gene Matsumoto. Give me your thoughts on this matchup. It was a really good fight, a banger.
Yeah, this one could have been fight of the night. I'm surprised it wasn't. This was a banger going back and forth. Fight was actually 1-1 going into the third round. Really could have went either way. Brad Katona for a
I thought
Canadian
Brad
man.
Katona won that. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he won the first and
Yo, it
third.
was a great fight, man. It was a great fight. He put on a crazy performance. I'm not surprised though, because he was more of a vet coming into this one. Just Gene Matsumoto is just that dude coming up, man. Third,
Matsumoto was looking calm in that pocket, man. He
third
was
round
staying
was
in that pocket.
razor close, and the fight went to whoever you thought won the third round. Honestly, it was because it was that close. But no
This
surprise
was a
there, man.
straight up dogfight, man.
We
Both
picked
guys showed.
Matsumoto to win this, so he got it done. Keeps that undefeated streak intact. You know how that goes.
Yeah, man. This was a straight up dogfight, man. It was a great fight. Matsumoto showed his grit, man, in the pocket. He wasn't scared. He wasn't taking no back steps. He stayed in the pocket, stayed safe in the pocket, and fired back with heavy punches. I do feel like Brad Katona did enough to get the nod, but it was close enough to go either way. I'm not mad at it. Moving on to the next matchup, the prelim main event. We had Mateusz Nicolau taking on Asu Almabayev in the flyweight division. Two ranked fighters in the flyweight division. Asu was the minus 200, 235 favorite coming into this matchup. Nicolau looked good, man. He was competing with Asu, but ultimately, Nicolau has shown that he is chinny. Asu landed big in the third, won the third big, and he won the first. Give me your thoughts on this, E.
Yeah, man. This might be 3 L's in a row now for Mateusz Nicolau. So I don't know where he goes from here. Honestly, this fight started off like a 5 round main event. Both these fighters used that first round as a feeler round. Nothing too crazy. Nicolau almost got the win with the guillotine, man, but Almabayev showed his level in grappling. He got out third round. Almabayev did his thing, won the third round clearly, and won the fight. It was a great performance. He does get a bump now in the rankings, but is he ready for the top of the division, man? These flyweights they're tough.
Everyone's a killer in the flyweight division. Multiple fighters that are complete. They're the complete packages, man. The lower weight classes, the lower you go in weight classes, the more skill you tend to see. And in the flyweight division, we see the most skill.
Yeah,
Every fighter is elite
I was
everywhere in
expecting a
striking,
finish.
jiu-jitsu, wrestling. Go ahead.
I was expecting a finish, I was saying, yeah.
Yeah,
But
man. But
let's
in
see
the
if he's
flyweight
able to compete
division,
with the top. Yeah, my fault.
man, they have the lowest finishing rate. They have my fault for cutting you off. They got the lowest finishing rate in the flyweight division. They're relatively smaller men, 5'5" and below. They not knocking nobody out, but they do come to scrap. They be scrapping like John Wick. You know what I mean? Like John Wick is after somebody who kidnapped somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's how they be random flyweights on the prelims be going in. They just don't finish fights.
Yo, they go hard for that 10 and 10, man.
12 and 12, man. Watch your mouth. They up the ante. But moving on to the next fight, the main card. We got Darren the Damage Elkins taking on Daniel Pineda, man. This was an absolute banger, man. Damage still got something in the tank, boy. He was looking good, man. In the prediction video, I wanted to go with Darren Elkins so bad, man. I love the Damage, but For the video, I went with Pineda. I thought Pineda, he had 19 submissions. I was like, maybe he might be able to snatch a submission up. He kept going for that gilly. When in doubt, jump the gilly, Dustin Poirier style. But it didn't work out for my boy Pineda. Elkins is too seasoned. He's not falling for that. He's not going for that. He was able to get out of that guillotine each and every time. Put that ground and pound on him. And on the feet, Elkins was striking like it. You know what I mean? He was landing them bombs like, is he out of sight? No, I'm playing. But he was landing some heavy strikes on Daniel Pineda. Give me your thoughts, E.
Yeah, man. Darren Elkins just won this fight straight up with his aggression. And this actually did win fight of the night. So if you're a fan of grappling, this was the fight to watch. High level exchanges on the ground.
Multiple scrambles.
Darren Elkins, man, just showed how much of a dog he was despite being 40 years old, man. Dude got it done. Made Pineda retire at the end of it. That was a great way to go out. Darren Elkins, it might be time, but he still shows he got some fight in him.
Yeah, man. Sad to see Pineda go. He comes to scrap, but man, he's 39 years old. Elkins is 40 and still going strong, but hey, man, not everyone can fight forever. Not everyone is Darren the Damage Elkins. Moving on to the next fight. We had Jake Hadley taking on Cameron Smotherman on literally 37-minute notice in the bantamweight division, man. Cameron Smotherman came in as the plus 400 underdog in this matchup and absolutely took it to that boy Jake Hadley. He was beating that boy. You know what I mean? He was beating him up bad, piecing him up on the feet. Give me your thoughts on his E.
Yeah, man. Cam Smotherman got the U up text from the UFC at 2 a.m. and was like, you know what? I'll take this fight. The dude that the UFC ain't even want came through on a day and a half notice and just stole the fight from the vet Jake Hadley, man. I had Jake Hadley. I would have predicted him to win this fight. I didn't analyze it for our prediction video, but I would have still had him winning. But Cameron Smotherman did his thing, man. The kid from Birmingham couldn't get it done, unfortunately. I thought the bantamweight, ah, not much to say, man. Cam Smotherman did his thing, bro. I'm disappointed in Jake Hadley.
H-Town's finest, man. He was in Saudi coaching one of his teammates 2 days ago, gets the call, gets that you up text from Uncle Dana, and Cameron Smotherman said, you know what? I'm halfway across the world, but it is what it is. I'm popping out and I'm showing out. You know what I'm saying? Straight off the Contender Series. Welcome to the UFC, my man. I'm excited to see what he does. Moving on to the next fight. Speaking of random flyways that be going at it, we got my boy Charles Johnson, Bangkok ready, taking on Sumadurgi. This was a great fight. Both guys were scrapping. Sumadurgi showed what he's about in the feet. His stand-up looked very crisp, throwing really nice. He was throwing really nice counter shots, but he wasn't throwing enough volume. Charles Johnson with the forward pressure, and he was throwing heavy shots and a lot of volume. Give me your thoughts on this, E.
Yeah, man, another fight that should have won fight of the night. High pace striking, my masterclass from both fighters, in my opinion. Sumadurgi improved his grappling, and we all know Charles Johnson is a solid overall mixed martial artist. Dude has it all. This was a great fight to watch. I guess Charles really won this fight because he landed the only knockdown of the fight and also landed two takedowns as well. I had Charles Johnson winning the fight, and honestly, the ref could have stopped this via TKO early on. But shout out to Sumadurgi for putting on a great performance. This fight was a banger, man, for sure.
Yeah, man, it was a really good fight. Charles Johnson looked good, but Suma Durji also showed out. I want to see both of them fight, man. We'll give it a go again. We'll go again. Moving on to the co-main event. We got Boston's finest, Rob Font. He changed camps, was with Faraz Zahabi for this. He's trying to capture something. He's not trying to go out sad. He said, I'm not going out like these other old guys. I ain't
Welcome
losing.
to Jamrock.
Yes, sir. I want to
Out.
see murder. You know what I'm saying? Rob Font came out there and he really was on that murder, man. He was on that murder timing. Kyler Phillips, honestly, he didn't look as advertised. Minus 650 favorite, the biggest favorite on the card, and Rob Font absolutely took it to him and like fraud checked that kid. Give me your thoughts on this, E.
Yeah, man. Rob Font weathered that early storm from Kyler Phillips. You know, Kyler Phillips comes out hot, but couldn't finish Font, man. Font did his thing, got out of there. And he couldn't do nothing with him on the feet, man. He couldn't do nothing with Rob Font on the feet. He was landing. I know Rob Font is not known to knock people out like that, but he was hitting him hard, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Rob Font got one of the most active jabs in the game, like I said in that prediction video, man. He's active.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in Kyler Phillips, man. I had the younger prospect winning this one, but Rob Font does what he does, man, and destroys parlays. These new up and comers, they ain't got nothing for Rob Font, man. Don't UFC, don't give him to Rob Font, man. Adrian Yanez done. Kyler Phillips done. Fraud check these boys.
Rob Font on his Derek Brunson route. Just fraud checking these young dudes. Yeah, but man,
Not enough stuff to say, man.
yeah, man. But moving on to the main event, we have Anthony Hernandez taking on Michel Pereira. Anthony Hernandez was putting up historic numbers in this fight, man. He was looking like Colby Chaos Covington when he fought Robbie Lawler in New Jersey, man. He was looking unstoppable. He was firing on all cylinders. Michel Pereira, man, he came out there for like a minute 30 seconds and he was looking real good. He threw like three combinations and he was out of gas, man. That was pitiful to see, man. That's even worse. That's worse cardio than Conor McGregor, man. Conor McGregor got at least a round in him. Michel Pereira came out with an opening flurry, looked real dangerous, and then said, "You know what? I'm checking out for today." Give me your thoughts on this, E.
Man, premature ejaculation, man. Dude came in 2 minutes, was done for the night after
Two
that.
pump chump, man.
Man's name Fluffy is a straight up killer, though, man. To be honest with you, I didn't realize how much bigger Michelle Pereira was than Fluffy.
How did he make
During the
170?
final, bro, during the final face off, I was like, yo, this Fluffy was looking up at him, man. I was shocked. And Michelle, he went 0 to 100 first round, but couldn't get it done, man. That cardio issue. We called it on this channel, actually. We predicted it to a T. We knew exactly how this fight was
Yes,
going to
sir.
go.
You know
Fluffy
what we
weathered that
do.
storm, did his thing. I'm surprised he finally got the finish out of mercy because he was whooping that ass. It was multiple 10-8 rounds, man.
Yeah, man. A lot of people need to start putting some respect on our name, Birdman style, man. 7-3 on this card. We coming through every card going 7-3 plus. We coming through. We like 60%, 70% on our picks. You know what I mean? Y'all need to tap in, man. We going in. Anthony Hernandez absolutely dominated Michel Pereira. We called it to a T. We said Michel is going to come out hot. He might win the first round. If he doesn't knock him out in the first round, Hernandez is going to grind him out.